Does anybody else feel like February just came and then like yeeted itself out of here real quick? Did February even happen? Was it even real? Conspiracy theory time. Welcome back to my channel, Reader Fam. Today I'm gonna be ranking every book that I read in the month of February. February. That's how it should be pronounced. February. Why do we skip the R? I will never understand. It will never make sense. Somebody make it make sense. You can't, because it doesn't make sense. I actually had a pretty successful reading month in the month of February. I read a whopping total of 9 books. Yeah, that's right, fam. We did that. Oh yeah, get it. Now somebody get me a bed so I can sleep the day away as a reward. That's actually a lot for me. Your boy hit a solid pace when it came to reading this past month and just kept on running on. Your boy was bit by the reading bug, the only bug that I want to be bit by. Your boy chugged that reading juice and soared through some books. I didn't necessarily get to every book that I wanted to in the month of February. In fact, there are 2 books that I talked about in a video that I really wanted to read, and then your boy cleaned his room, and the next thing I know, I can't find those 2 freaking books. Like, what happened to them? Where did those books go? I'm upset. My pals, my friends, what have I done? Where did it go? Like, I'm just so annoyed. Like, who cleans their room and like just picks up 2 books, places them somewhere else, and is unable to find them anywhere? Me, apparently! It wasn't even worth it cleaning my room either, because you know what? That room is now messy as heck again. And I've got 2 misplaced books that I cannot find. And I'm clearly furious about it. Please pray for me during this first world problem that I am enduring. Thank you very much. I'm gonna run through my ranking system again before I get started. We've got Owns My Heart tier. We've got Second Place is the First Loser tier. Supporting Character tier. Where's the Flavor tier? And I Want a Refund tier. Now it's time to rank those books. Why did that sound like it was like a game show situation? We're not on a game show, Jesse. I know that you think your life is a game show, but it's not. I mean, it kind of is. I mean, this whole thing, it's all a game. Life is a game, right? Let's not unpack that today. Without further ado, let's get started. The first book I read this month is the Enneagram and You. What's the tagline here? Understand your personality type and how it can transform your relationships. What a selling point. This is essentially a guide on the Enneagram and how you can use the Enneagram to strengthen your relationships and understand the people around you. If you don't know anything about the Enneagram, it's a personality classification system similar to the MTBI personality sitch, but there's also quite a few differences. I feel like I prefer the Enneagram just because I feel like it does a fantastic job of just like attacking me, and like I like to be attacked. I like to look at something and be like, oh yes, that is me. That is very much so me, And I more so see myself represented in the things that I see about my numbers. So I'll leave a few quizzes down below in the description if you want to find out your Enneagram type, and let me know what your Enneagram type is down below in the comments. I've avoided this for so long, not the book itself, but the Enneagram system. I have a friend who was always telling me this and that about it, and she'd like type people as if it was her job, and I was always like, I get it, Jan. But that's the thing, I didn't really get it. I didn't understand like the beauty of taking time to learn about your own personality and also about the personalities around you, like the people that you interact with the most in your day-to-day life. It's like, you can use it to understand people around you and grow strong bonds? What? Back then I was like, couldn't be me, I don't want to see it. But now I'm like, it be me, I want to know everything. Tell me your personality type so I can analyze every little thing about you. Mind you, I'm still not the master on personality types. I've still got a lot to learn. But it's been so helpful learning about the different ways people think and move through life. Like, who would have thought that there's like a benefit in like learning about the personalities of the people around you? Wow, we love growth. My Enneagram number is 6. I'm suspicious of people right off the bat. I need to feel security in every relationship I'm in, otherwise I drop you. And I'm an anxious little bean. Let me tell you, that tracks for me. That being said, my overall thoughts on this book is that I didn't really find it to be that helpful. I mean, it's really nice. It's like a nice guidebook on the Enneagram. Like, if you want to know more about the Enneagram, it does kind of like walk you through everybody's personality types, and I will be using this in the future as like a guidebook. But in terms of it like bringing anything new to the table, like I feel like it didn't really bring any freshness. Like, where's the freshness? But it's also information that I could have easily accessed on the good old Google. Love the good Googs. Always reference the good Googs. Actually, something that drives me crazy, which I know this is a big side point, but hear me out, is when people go on Twitter and ask questions that could easily be Googled. Like, I'm sorry, hun, Twitter is not a search engine. Let me just redirect you real quick. I'm gonna put this one in the Where's the Flavor tier, because in all honesty, it needed the flavs. It lacked bringing something new to the table. Like, where's the salt and pepper? Next up, I'm talking about 6 books altogether. I bet you can't guess what these 6 books are. I binge read a series this past month. If you haven't seen my vlog yet, link down below in the description, go and check it out. And that is the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series, aka the Peculiar series. We got book 1, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. We got book 2, Hollow City. We got book 3, Library of Souls. We got book 4, A Map of Days. We got book 5, The Conference of the Birds. And we've got book 6, the finale, The Desolations of Devil's Acre. This series follows Jacob Portman, who after the passing of his grandfather, takes a peek into his grandfather's past and unlocks a whole new world full of peculiar things. Together they go on adventures and fight monsters who are out to eat their souls. Casual. This series ruined my life in the best way possible, but also in the worst way possible, because I never shut up about it. This series has meant so much for me. I'm sure that you guys are tired of me talking about it. Like, I've talked about it for like the last 10 years nearly 10 years. I've talked about it a lot, non-stop. And like, after I post this video and after I post my reading time capsule video, I'm gonna like take a breather from talking about this series. Because again, it's been nearly 10 years of me being complete and utter trash for the series and talking about it way too much. And I need to do a deep clean and start raving about other books I've loved. I will say that I'm on the hunt for my next all-time favorite book. Like, I need something to come in and just destroy, not necessarily destroy my love for this, but also be like, yo, I'm on the same level as Miss Peregrine's, bruh. Which, you know, is not an easy adventure to go on. Gotta weed out all the mediocre books to get to the groundbreakingly good ones. But I just need another book to come into my life and destroy my life in the way that this series did. I'm gonna go over each book in the series and give a pro and con, because I'm not naive to the fact that these books aren't perfect. Like, I get it. They're not flawless. But I'll always love them, and they're my babies, and they're pretty close to perfect. Book 1, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Pro. It's my kind of weird with a unique writing style and peculiar abilities. What more could I want? Con. There's a whole section that could have been snipped out and nobody would have missed it. Book 2, Hollow City. Pro. It sets a solid foundation for what's to come and makes you eager to find out what's on the horizon. That ending though. Con. There's at times a sense of convenience when it comes to certain situations that they're able to get out of. Book 3, Library of Souls. Pro. It's tied together in such a jaw-dropping, remarkable way. Con. More of a personal preference, but I'm also just like trying to claw to find something negative to say about this one. I wanted to see the peculiars more in this one. I wanted to see their abilities come into play a little bit more. And I mean that more in the beginning section. Book 4, A Map of Days. Pro. We get a different look at loops in a completely different area than what we're used to, and that brought on a lot of freshness. Fresh. Keep it fresh. Con. We're in America. America is boring. I live in America. I know America. Let's go somewhere exciting. Book 5, The Conference of the Birds. Pro. We have an interesting setup for the final book in this one involving our character Nor. Con. It unties something that was tied up in a past book, and that really aggravates me. But it's fine. The final and 6th book, The Desolations of Devil's Acre. Pro. Another solid climax, almost an elevated version of Library of Souls. And con. At some points I felt like it dragged on a bit too much, and I feel like it could have been condensed just a little bit. Overall, I love and cherish this series. I will say that I feel like I overall kind of prefer the first 3 books to the last 3 books, but I am happy that we got the last 3 books. Like, I am thankful for them because it was nice to kind of have that extended look as to what happened after Library of Souls. And I could read about these characters just staring at a wall at this point and find it entertaining. Call me what I am. Garbage. I'm gonna be putting books 1, 2, 3, and 6 into the Owns My Heart tier, but books 4 and 5 are going into the second place is the First Loser tier. Next, we have the Silvered Serpents. We love an alliteration title. This book is the sequel to The Gilded Wolves, which I will give you a bit of a rundown on the first book as to not spoil this book, even though it's hard to explain and kind of confusing. So bear with me. The story takes place in the 1880s in Paris, and people in this version of our world can do a thing called forging, which is a type of magic where you can manipulate things, essentially. We follow Severin, who is looking to get his spot as the head of his house back, and to do so, he puts together a crew to go on a bit of a heist situation. That was a bad description. Bad, I'm sorry, I'm bad, but that's the best I could do. When you dedicate your book to Nicolas Cage, now that is a whole other level of comedy. This one picks up right where we left off with book 1, and if you've read book 1, you know what happens at the end. You know the way the first book just kind of attacks you with that ending. It doesn't hold back, it lunges at you and punches you in the heart, which is not a good feeling. Ouch. So it was kind of nice to see where the characters landed afterwards, after that first book, even though it was like an outbreak of sadness. Like, that part wasn't fun. I felt similar to this one as I did about the first book. I mostly enjoy this series for our characters alone. They carry the story on their backs, and if it weren't for their personality strengths, I probably would have ditched this series altogether. Because the world itself is not necessarily the most difficult to understand, but there are aspects of it that are a bit messy. Also, the plot in this one in particular was a bit underwhelming to me. Like, I really enjoyed the plot for the most part in book one, but I felt that in both terms of kind of building off of book one and pushing things forward, that this one ended up falling into the middle book syndrome and book bridge for me, where it's less exciting and struggling to find its footing after book one. And it's used as more of a bridge to kind of lead you into the third book. It's using this middle book to set things up for what's to come. It does have its positives though. I don't want to say that this is like the most negative experience. Like the characters, yes. Roshni just has such a beautiful way of like tying words together in such an unconventional way. And I feel like I could learn so much just about like writing style in particular by reading her books. And I feel like she also did a great job of kind of exploring the aftermath of the big event that happens in book one. So there are lots of positives and negatives. Overall, I felt mixed, but I still enjoyed the ride. I'm gonna place this one into the supporting character tier. I would be surprised if this series ever hit main character status for me, but I'm gonna hope for the best with the next book. Like maybe the next book will come through and knock me off my feet. Like I can only hope for that. Finally, the last book that I read in February is Early Departures. This story follows Jamal, whose best friend Q has died. But Q ends up being brought back to life through a reanimation process. The thing is though, is that he only gets to be alive for another month. While Q's mom wants to keep things as normal as possible and not even tell him that he only has a month to live, Jamal has a lot of unresolved issues with Q that he wants to work out before he passes away again. This was such an interesting read, oh my god. It made me just fall into a pool of thoughts. Like I finished the book, set it down, and then proceeded to stare at the ceiling and just think about what I would do in this situation. You have this friend and they have this massive falling out and then they die. And so you have these feelings of regret that you never worked out those issues with them. And as much as they hurt you, you never wanted them to die, like duh. And then they're brought back to life, but only for another month. And you either shove your issues under the rug and just like go about life as if everything is normal, or you try to work through them before they pass away again so you don't still have mixed feelings about them after their passing. Also, there's this thing where it's like, should people be brought back from the dead after they die, or is that playing with fate? Or is it in their cards of fate to be brought back to life? But also, losing someone once is hard. Having them brought back and then losing them again, man. As you can see, I'm still reeling about this book. Like, I'm still just like non-stop thinking about it, and I think I will think about it until the end of time. I'm not gonna say it was a flawless book per se, but I love that this book just has me spiraling into a world full of questions. Like, there are things that our main character is dealing with that I felt like could have been explored a little bit more, but I almost feel like it wasn't delved into because it wasn't really our focus of the story. Our focus was on the bringing back of his friend and seeing how that kind of changes his world. I know that I like harp on romances, but I feel like I have a solid reason for like not really loving the romance in this one. Like, albeit, listen, the romance itself was actually fine. I didn't mind the relationship. I was happy for them. I was rooting for them. Do your thing, love each other, all that good stuff, kiss kiss XOXO. But I felt at times it kind of steered away from the book's main focus. Like, it kind of was a distraction tool from our main focus of the story. And I get that we need to see other aspects of our characters' lives. Like, for example, I wanted more from some of the situations that our main character was dealing with, but I almost would have rather seen that be explored than this relationship, which it's fine. It didn't work out in the way that I wanted to, and that's definitely more of a personal preference. I will say that this is one that also you do kind of have to suspend your disbelief for, which I'm always down for, but I understand it can be hard, especially the way that Q is kind of brought back. Like, I just accepted it and moved on with my life, but I still, you know, had my questions, like, how did this exactly happen? I'm gonna be placing this one in the second place as the first loser tier. It was a solid read, and I know it's gonna be one that I think about for years to come. So those were 9 books that I read in the month of February. I feel like I mostly reread books in the month of February, which is fine. Like, I love a good reread, but I definitely want to discover some new books in the upcoming months. But overall, I can't be mad at my reading month in the month of February. You guys should let me know down below in the comments what books you read in the month of February. Was there a standout? Was there one that you just like felt pretty meh about? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye-oh! Now I have the fun part of holding this up and smiling through the pain. Oh, they're oh, frick. Oh, frick. And we give a good smile. All right, we got it. We got the shot, I think. Okay, let's put this on over here. Ugh. Oh, no.